Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new video in programming the finite element method using MATLAB. In this video, we are going to continue our model generation in the STR controller, which is basically here. And while we are generating our model, we generated something called FEMObjects from STR nodes. However, there is another thing we need to generate. We need to generate FEMObjects from STRLines. And that's partially what we will address today. We're not going to finish this entire thing, but at least we are going to dive into it first, maybe continue this in the next few videos. Now, just to remind you that this is part of a multi-part video series in the Finite Element Method, which is going to be in the playlist linked on the top right, as well as its own standalone programming playlist, which is also linked in the top right. And of course, as per usual, I want to remind you that all channel members have access to my source code. However, if you're not a channel member, then don't worry, because every single line will be written in front of you, so you can write along and have the exact same code as me. So let's dive into the creation of FEMObjects from STRLine. So with that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Alright, now first of all, let me close some files that I don't need. I don't need the viewer, and I don't think I need FEMBAR Spring, and FEMNode, I don't need that, and sample frame, I don't need that. Let's focus on the STR controller. Now, let's try to comment what we want to do. First of all, we need to cycle through every single line in the structure. So here, there will be a for loop, for I equals 1, to the length of the object.STRLines. We are gonna cycle through every single line. Now, since we are cycling through every single line, we need to fish the line out. So let's say here, line equals structure.strline at the index I. So we are fishing out our line. Now, to be able to continue, I'm gonna quickly fish out node 1, which is gonna be line.node1, and I'm gonna fish out node 2, which is gonna be line.node2. Now, let me explain to you how we want to make a FEMObject from STRLines. What we want to do is you want to get the STR line that the user has modeled and basically ask the question, what are the STR nodes that are on the STR line? This might sound as if it is a nonsensical question, because you would think, of course there are only two nodes, which is the starting node and the ending node. However, this is where you may be wrong and incorrect, dear viewer, because there are some nodes that we created during the preparation of the structural model 10 videos ago or something. Here, we checked if lines do intersect, and if they do intersect, we created a node at that intersection. So suddenly, the line does not only have its starting and its ending node, it also has intermediate nodes. So I need to discretize the line into multiple pieces corresponding to the nodes that are there. Now, to be able to do this, I must sort the nodes so that I know which node is in the beginning and which node is in the end, so that I can simply create a FEM element between each two consecutive nodes. To do all this, I need, first of all, to find all nodes on the line. Then sort the nodes on the line from start to finish, and then start creating or start the FEMObject creation shenanigans. Okay? Without this, I can't do anything. Now for this, I need to program something, because I need some abilities in the STR line to help me out with this. So here, we need to program some abilities that are able to, 1, detect if a node is part of the line, 2, be able to sort a bunch of nodes on the line, and 3, give back this stuff to the controller. So how do we do that? This is going to take a lot of time, but we shall prevail. So here, in what it can do, I'm going to add a new thing. And I'm going to tell him function sorted nodes is going to equal to get sorted str nodes, and for it, I'm going to ask him to give me the object, which is basically something usual, and to give me all the nodes. So an array of nodes, okay? Meaning that the controller is gonna basically call the line. Maybe I don't need those two things. Let me comment them out for now. Or let's write this. Sorted nodes is gonna equal line dot get sorted str nodes. That's what we're gonna do. And now he wants me to give him all the nodes. I could pass in the controller, but I think it's cleaner to pass in only the nodes. So here I will pass in object, which stands for the controller, and I will pass in the str nodes, because a lot of things will happen inside this function. Actually, this function is going to include both objectives, find all nodes in the line and sort all nodes in the line. So I should copy those objectives and go to my STRLine, to my sorted nodes here, and declare those objectives so that I can remind myself what I want to do. Now here, I want to remind you of the parametric equation. Let me go to the controller again to explain to you what the parametric equation is. I have done this before from create nodes line cross line, where I intersected the lines together. Relax, we're not going to intersect lines again, but I want to remind you of the parametric equation of a line. So let me copy this first and go to STRLine and paste it, just to remind you of the parametric equation. Now, I'm going to use the parametric equation to sort the values. Because if you have a line, the parametric equation's t value is going to be 0 at x0, y0, z0, and is going to increase if you move in the direction of the line. So it's going to increase in the positive, and it's going to decrease in the negative if you go in the negative direction of the line. This t value is what I will be using to sort my points. So I'm going to use the t value to understand if a point is close to the start or far away to the start. So what I need to do is I need to first of all check if a node is on the line, calculate its t value, and then later sort everything. This is a massive undertaking that will take time. So let's try to dissect this one by one, because otherwise you will feel overwhelmed and you will not be able to do anything. So let's start by finding all nodes on the line. That seems to be okay, I guess. So here I will give a for loop, and I'm going to basically give an integer. Let's call it, I always use I. Maybe I should use k for a change. So k from, it doesn't matter I or k or j. K from 1 to the nodes, the length of the nodes that were given. So we're going to cycle through every single one of those nodes. Now, in the node here, I'm going to basically fish out the node. So node equals nodes of k. We fished it out. And then I'm going to ask the line to give me, let's say here, is on line. And I'm going to ask the line to tell me if this node is on the line or not. So I need a function for that. I'm going to call this is on line, and I'm going to pass in node.x, node.y, and node.z. So I am going to program on this line object a check that says is on line. It checks if this node is part of the line equation or not. Because if it is on line, let's say here, is on line, then, so if the str node is indeed on the line, then I'm going to put it in a storage system. Let's declare a storage system. Let's say that my storage system here is called nodes on segment. This is my storage system for now. This includes the nodes without sorting. The sorting will happen later. Also, besides the nodes on segments, I must have another list that says t values, because I am going to sort based on the t values. Here, t is the value used in the parametric equation to get the node or the coordinates. I need those because I will use those to sort those. If it is online, then a lot of things must happen. First of all, I must store it. So node, I think I should call it nodes on segment as a plural. Nodes on segment is going to increase, so it's going to equal its old self, added to it the new node. Okay? I know this is not efficient in programming, but I will do it nonetheless because it's simple to read. I'm not here to teach. I'm here to explain how to use programming for civil engineering. There is optimization you can do, and if you are a programming pro, you know already that this is not good. But let's continue. It does the trick. So if it is online, we need to store it, and we need to find the t value. So t equals object.get t value. We're going to get the t value by using the node.x. I need to program this, by the way. Node.y and node.z. And once we get the t value, we need to store the t value. So I'm going to say here t values, the new one, is going to be the addition of the old ones in addition to the new t I calculated. Later, I need to sort. So I have another bigger fish to fry. I have a lot of fishes to fry. Let's start frying this one. So here, I would need, after the function here, I would need another function saying function is online is going to equal, I don't know, is online, I guess. I don't like having the same function name and the output name. Let's put result here. Yeah, this makes more sense. Is online. And here we need, of course, to pass in the object because that's object-oriented programming. And then I need to pass in the x, the y, and the z, which has been done in the top here. Now here there must be a check, and I need to program this check. How do I know if a line is on, if a point is on the line? Well, I need first of all to find t from any of the three equations. So I need to find t from any of the three parametric equations. And once I find t, I must find the xyz from t using the equations. And then I must compare input xyz with calculated xyz. If they match, then indeed the point is part of the line. If they don't match, then it's not part of the line. Okay, so how can I do that? T equals 0 for now. Let's declare it for now. A equals, I think it's called object.vx. This is called vx. Vx of 1, that is the x component of the unit vector. B equals object.vx of 2. Those are the things used in the parametric equation. C equals object.vx of 3. And x0 equals, oh, that's easy, node1 object.node1.x. y0 equals object.node1.y. And z0 equals object.node1.z. Let's calculate t. But there is a caveat in calculating t, because this line could be in any special direction. So this A could be 0, this B could be 0, and this C could be 0. Because from equation 1, t equals x minus x0, everything divided by A. Now the division by A is what makes the problem, because if A is 0, this thing will explode. So I have, of course, 3 equations. Any of them should do the job. So here, I'm going to make a check. If absolute of A is more than epsilon, STRLine.epsilon, so it's more than 0, because I cannot compare with 0, of course, you know that. Then I'm going to say t equals x minus x0 divided by A. Okay? Okay. Now, if that's the case, else if A is indeed 0, then let's check B, because maybe B is not 0. Okay? Epsilon. If B is not 0, then I can use it to find t. Okay? But wait, maybe this is just a parallel to axis idea. Then I have the final check, which is else if absolute c is more than strline.epsilon, and there is no way this fails, because otherwise it wouldn't be a line. A line means it has at least one of those non-zero. So I can't even say else here, but I don't. So in this case, t equals, I'm going to use the z now, z minus z0 over c. Fantastic. I will end the if. This will calculate the t. Okay. Now I'm going to find the xyz from t using equations. So now here I'm going to say x calculated equals x0 plus a multiplied by t, and y calculated is going to equal y0 plus b multiplied by t, and z calculated is going to equal z0 plus c multiplied by t. What is this y? Now, if those coordinates are indeed on the line, then those would be equal. So if this is equal to this, or in other words, the difference is 0. Now you cannot have a 0 in that case. So of course I must do it differently. I must say if absolute of x calculated minus x is not 0, so it's more than global dot not global, is more than strline dot epsilon, or, so this is one failure criteria, or absolute of y calculated minus y is not 0, so it's more than strline dot epsilon, or the third failure criterion, absolute of z calculated minus z is more than strline dot epsilon. Then if any one of those happens, then it's not the same point, because the x's should be 0. If they are not or more than 0 absolute value, then they're not the same point. And in that case, I'm going to say result equals false, and I'm going to return. We finished. We given the result and we return. Otherwise, here we say that indeed the point is on the line. Okay? But wait, is it on the line, or is it on the extension of the line? Because the point fulfills the line equation, but it doesn't necessarily mean that this is on the line, not on the extension of the line. So for that, I'm gonna steal something from here. I think I have done this before somewhere where I checked. Let's copy this check very quickly. This is the check for 2 lines. I'm gonna take it for 1 line. Let's go to strline. By the way, I went to the str controller and copied the xmax, xmin check when we checked if the intersection is on both lines. Now we need to check if it's only on that line. So the logic, that means control I, the logic is still okay, but it needs to be rewritten. Now, first of all, there is no line 1, it's called object, and I only have 1 object. So here I only need to replace line 1 with object, because it is the object that we are testing. So those are my bounds of the object. The line 2 doesn't help us at all, and the only thing I need to do is to check for line 1, or just check for this line. I am not going to need to check for line 2 at all. Okay? So I deleted that. And here it is indeed on the line. And here it was not on the line, which is this line. Now, if it's not called intersection point, it's called, what was it called? X, I guess? Yeah, it's just X. Let's write here testing point. You know what? Let's delete this entire thing here. We don't need this because it would be misleading. And here I'm going to say if X is between the min and the max. Of course, this object epsilon is something we have added due to numerical problems. Check out the video of the intersection of 2 lines for more context as of why this is. Now, of course, it's not x's, it should be z's and y's. I miswrote, so this is y, and that's y. Okay, so x is more than the min and less than the max. Y is more than the min, less than the max. Z is more than the min, less than the max. If that's the case, then the result is going to be true. And I'm going to return because we finished. Otherwise, well, it's on the extension, so the result is going to be false, and I'm going to return 2. So I think that's that. I think we have programmed the check if a coordinate is on the line. Okay, why is there an error here? Variable not used. What do you mean by that? Oh yeah, sorry. This should be the same writing. So if it is on line, then nodes on segments is going to equal the old plus the node, but we still have to get the t value. Now, how do I get the t value? I think we already know how to get the t value because we tried that, right? We just did that. I can actually repurpose some of the code that we have here. You know what? Let's repurpose the code. Because I've done finding, I don't know, I might even have gotten the t value from here. Like this is copy pasting, this is bad coding. Because look, I'm going to make a function here. I'm going to say here t value equals get t value. And here I'm going to pass in the object x, y, and z. I could have, I think I'm a noob. I could have just taken this entire thing and repurposed it. I'll keep it because you need ABC anyway for this. Because look, you cannot simply cut this out. You cannot simply cut this out and put it here because you still need the A, B, C, and X0, Y0, Z0. So the only duplication of code is happening here, and I don't think this warrants a new function. So I'm going to copy this entire thing here, and you're repurposing this thing. You know what? Maybe I will copy this entire thing just to keep the comments there and paste it in the get t value. Let's paste. Let's change. So find t from any of those three equations. That's true. There is no need for comparison. And this is going to be called t value. So I can just delete this entire thing and use t value instead of that. So let's put t value here, t value here, t value here. And if nothing works, if none of that happens, which is impossible, I will just give a warning and give t value equals -1 as a warning. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, let's keep it like that then. Okay, so we found the t value and we found the nodes on segment, and I think that's good enough for me. Now, how can I put it to the test? Let's go to the STR controller because I reached a milestone. I want to pause here, but I want to be able to at least test and see if it works or not. Okay, so how can I do that? In the STR controller, let's take a look what we are doing. This can be collapsed. This is just for the line cross line. Let's just delete it. Collapse it, sorry. We are generating the finite element method, so we are here. Let me put a breakpoint here and run our main. So this will yield, or this would lead, oh, there's an error it seems. What is the error? The error is unable to resolve name structured STR line. Okay, what do you mean by this? It should be lines, right? Where is it? Okay, this is line 597, STRLines, not line. Okay, let's run again. Another error. Yeah, see, I'm a noob today. Unable to wait, structure? I think it was called object. Yeah, it's object, not structure it gives. Why did I say structure? I think I was thinking too hard. Okay, let's try again. Okay, now it's working. We are here. Let's step in to go inside. Now this should be line 1 now. Okay, so this should be, the object should be line 1. Okay, now I'm going to simply click here and run. Okay, so it went through all the nodes. I'm expecting to see 3 nodes. Why? Let me show you very quickly why I'm expecting 3 nodes. So just close this entire thing, go to main, and open the viewer so that you can be with me on the same page and know why I'm expecting 3 nodes. It's not happy because I don't give back sorted nodes. Let me just hack it for now. Let's just say sorted nodes equals nodes on segment. Now this is not true because I haven't sorted them yet, but at least to make this error just go away and just run again, for heaven's sake. The only thing I want in the plot is I want to show you something very interesting. So the plot has been plotted. Now we are talking about, oh wait, what? We are talking about line 1. So this line. This line has one node at t equals 0, one node at t equals 5, and one node at t equals, what's this, 1.667 or something? 1.667. So I'm expecting, when he does this node thing, I'm expecting him to see 3 nodes at 0, 1.67, and 5. So let's put this to the test by going to the controller and putting a breakpoint here and running the main. I want to stop the viewer because the viewer takes so much processing power. So I need to turn off the viewer. I just need the viewer to show you something. So now we are here. Let's step in. We are now in the function that gets the sorted nodes. So I'll put a breakpoint here and I will run. So now I'm expecting 3 nodes and the t values I talked about. So if I stand here, can't see anything. So let me double click on it. Nodes on segment. Yep. Now, by the way, I can see 1 times 3, so I'm happy now. Yeah, it sees node 1, 2, and 8, which has been added. And those are the coordinates. Fantastic. So we have them. But are the t values true? So let's take a look on the t values. And the t values are correct. 0, 5, and 1.6. They are not sorted, but they are correct. So we have done something today. We were able to check all the nodes and decide which nodes are on the line and calculate the t values, because we are going to sort them, which is going to be the task of the next video. So I think we reached yet another milestone in our finite element method calculation and programming. So I want to stop for now. And with that being said, I want to give an online-sized shout out to my dear channel members in the contributor level and the helper level, whose names are going to be shown on the screen. I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart, as their support of the channel is priceless to me and enables me to provide you with videos hopefully on time and with a certain quality I try to achieve, and for that I am forever thankful. In the end, I hope that you enjoyed the video and you found it beneficial. If you have enjoyed the video, then please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and so on, especially subscribing, because it helps increase the reach of my channel. As per usual, this is the Civil Engineering Essentials channel, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.